It only took about 14,000 years for man to go from a cave dweller to a space dweller. I wonder how many times we could have done that in 3.5 billion years. Our brains are biocomputers. Our brains are processors that fire at the speed of light, and they have the ability to duplicate what we are with the minerals that surround us. We have learned how to harness the sun's energy and create things that our forefathers would call miracles. With the use of solar panels, we now have the ability to supply our energy demands without gobbling up our finite resources. The sun's energy supplies the power we need to preserve the things we depend on for survival. Our life has been made so much easier because of laziness. Laziness is the motivator of invention. Why wash dishes when we can have our machines do it? With the discovery of electricity, we now have the ability to light up our world. What a beautiful thing. What would we do without light? Can you believe in less than 100 years we have learned how to transfer sound and pictures around the world at the speed of light? In the last 10 years, we have now shrunk computers to the size of our hand. Nowadays, what cost us hundreds yesterday are now given away. Not only do we have phones, we have cameras, voice recorders, calculators, maps, flashlights, GPS, phone books, calendars, and hundreds of digital files that fit in our hand. The only things our phones cannot do is protect us from the sun. Every year we have more and more days where the ultraviolet light grows more intense and we burn more, leading to skin cancer. Sometimes I wonder how smart we really are as a culture. With our brains, you'd think we would dress more like this. Or like this. I myself created a double-layer head cover that soaks up your sweat, and as wind blows by, you feel the cooling effect of a swamp cooler. As those ultraviolet rays rain down upon us, I suggest that if you are too cool to cover yourself, you should at least cover your children. My family has been living in the desert for over 100 years. That was when the only air conditioner was a wet towel in a window. My grandfather came here during the war and started building the Hoover Dam. My father, after the Navy, became a plumber and built the Flamingo Sahara hotels. This was my lizard hunting territory. I still remember television. I being born in 1957, I remember the black and white TVs and how you had to always control the horizontal and play with the rabbit ears. And the first radio I ever had was a crystal radio. You connect one wire to anything metal and plugged in your earphone, and then you play around with this tumbler, and suddenly you heard sounds coming out of the airwaves. Coolest thing in the world for a kid. As our world has become more network connected, and I have become older, I realize that humankind has evolved in thought transfer since the beginning of time. And every culture have left a legacy of their existence. In the Vegas Valley, I have found items that make you say, Before the first monkey in a cave during the Ice Age ever came up with an alphabet, he first, like our children today, would play with the mud he was sitting on. And in that mud, he'd make pancakes and mud balls. And when the mother said to the child, as she noticed the indentations in that ball her child had just made, and those indentations because of the firelight and shadows created, said, "Son, that reminds me of your grandmother." And the boy, wanting more praise, became very good at putting indentations into balls of clay. And by paying close attention to the eyes, feelings would transfer to the viewer. Salvador Dali had a dream at the start of his artistic journey. This was as close as he got to explaining the dream. Somehow, someway, I have tapped into the souls of the past, and I wish to teach the children before they become so programmed that they no longer can tap into their ancient past. Man has been using symbols to represent his thoughts and his ideas for thousands of years. These symbols of communication come in many varieties. The ones made of stone last the longest. In the last 10 years, I've spent every free moment searching for the pieces of the ancient past that go together as well as these pieces do. As you look at these pieces, pay attention to the bottom piece. It is a fine example of pointillism shadow art. This soldier has found his place and still stands today. Just looking at this guy, I can hear him saying, "Do you hear me? Do you hear me? Hey you, do you hear me?"